Let me tell you, moving abroad for me was one of the best things that I've ever done in my life, but it was also one of the toughest decisions I've ever had to make. And even though I think there are so many benefits to moving abroad for me, including learning new cultures, learning about new languages, and especially eating new foods, there's still some difficulties that come with packing up your entire life from one particular area and moving to another. I want to talk to you guys today about the pros and cons of moving abroad and if I could potentially move abroad again. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Francois Marc. Welcome back to the channel. I am still here in Almaty, Kazakhstan. As I said in the previous video, I'm going to be here for about a month because a lot of sun. I came here as like a scout or on a scouting mission to see if Almaty is a possible future place for me to relocate. I'm just seeing like how Almaty will be in the winter time. You know, places are different in the summer or in the winter than they are in the summer. So you have to experience a place like in all seasons in order for you to get a pretty good idea of what you can expect when you're moving to that place. But I've been living in Asia for 14 years, specifically South Korea. You would think I would have had enough of moving to different countries, especially as a person who's over 40 years of age and as an African American. The reason why I make these videos is because there are so many African Americans who don't travel. A lot of African Americans don't travel internationally, I should say. A lot of us just stay home within our same state, our same city, and we spend our entire lives in that place, and we don't know much about the world besides what the television tells us. And as we know, mass media, especially corporate mass media, can be very biased. With that being said, there may be a lot of African Americans or just expats in general, American expats in general, living in Japan or living in South Korea. I was thinking like maybe there aren't so many of us actually living in Central Asia, places like Kazakhstan or Tajikistan or Uzbekistan or Kyrgyzstan. I don't think there are so many of us here in Asia, but more specifically in this Central Asia region. Okay, excuse me, Central Asia region. But I bet you're wondering, like, Francois, more specifically, why Kazakhstan? Why did you choose to come back to Almaty, Kazakhstan? Well, as I mentioned in another video, I came during the summer and I absolutely love the city of Almaty. It's very green and it's very magical during the summer. So I fell in love with the city and I thought maybe I could actually move here if I got tired of living in Seoul, which I'm not. I remember the first time I moved abroad, I moved from America to France. Even though France is a very multicultural country, it was a little difficult for me to get out of my comfort zone. I never traveled abroad. I only traveled like to different states in the US. So traveling from the United States to France was a bit of a stressor for me, especially because I couldn't speak the language very well. And that's something that I'm dealing with here. Predominant language here is Russian. So as you probably could guess, Francois' Russian is terrible. So you really need to have like an understanding, or I should have an understanding of the language before I come here. When I moved to France, at least I was able to kind of, I guess, nitpick my way through the French language because of so many cognates that exist between French and English. About 40% of English, modern day English, comes from French. So it's very easy to like pick up French on the street just by like going to a cafe and just listening and watching people's body movements. But not here in Almaty, not here in Kazakhstan. Like, I think to learn Russian, you actually need to take some intensive courses. There we go, Navat. That's my favorite restaurant here in Central Asia. We going. You know, I don't know what happened to me, but since my trip to Central Asia over the summer of 2024, man, I've just fallen in love with Central Asian food. I don't know if it's like a mix of Central Asian food and Russian food, but whatever it is, it's damn good. I love it. Even in Korea, I'm eating it like once a month. Yo, I forgot, like here in Almaty, in order to cross the street, you just can't stand, you just can't stand at the light. And I was just sitting here standing at the light for like 10 minutes. You actually have to press this button thing, or put your hand like that, and then it blinks, and then the light will change so you can cross the street. I always forget that when it's time to cross the street here. See, when I'm thinking about traveling to a place or like relocating to another country, like food is top priority. And here in Central Asia and Kazakhstan, you're gonna be able to find this restaurant called Navat. And wait, let me get it on my face. All right, yeah, come into my face. This restaurant is amazing. Like, you can find all the food that you want, that you need at this restaurant. This restaurant has like so many different types of dishes. And the funny thing not the funny, but like the best thing I think, in my opinion, is that a lot of the food, a lot of the Central Asian food, or even Russian food, whatever you want to call it, it is very closely resembling soul food, African American soul food. So I can go into this restaurant and get food that reminds me of being home in the United States, more specifically in the African American community. A group of bystanders already finished their meal. It's time to go on the inside. Wow, we're here to have a meal. Whoa, hello. So cool. Anywhere? It's okay? Thank you. Wow. I think I actually came to this Navat last time when I came to Kazakhstan during the summertime. Well, this place is so cool. Hey, the waiter just brought me like this menu, Navat menu, but this menu is in Kazakh. So I can't understand anything. Yep, as I thought, I can't understand anything, but the pictures are nice. Let's take a look. The food looks good, looks really good. Just can't understand anything. Oh, probably gonna get this. This is like Russian. This thing here, really good. And oh, I love this porridge. I love the porridge so much. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Bishpramak. There's a lot of light here, but here at Navat, even if they don't have like English menu, they have this QR code that you can scan and you can get the English menu on your phone. Definitely gonna be using this. You can see, yeah, once you log in with the QR code, everything is in English. So at least here, I don't have to worry about the big language barrier, which is one of the reasons why I come to this restaurant. One more look, finally got it in English. While I'm waiting for the waiter to come. Like, I actually thought this drink, I forgot what it's called. Someone in the comment section, if you're Kazakh, tell me what this is. I thought this was cow's milk with like salt and butter. Definitely an acquired taste. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the food, let's talk about a few things that are very troublesome about moving to a different country. Number one, using Kazakhstan, using Almaty as an example. Like being here, the language barrier is pretty big, but it's not as big as you would think. Like some people can speak rudimentary English here, and I think no matter where you go in most major cities, you will always find people who can speak like a basic level of English. If you're worried about moving to a different country, or especially me, when I moved to France, I couldn't speak French very well. I can't speak Russian, but even still, I'm able to use body language. So many people understand chicken, water, toilet. So you don't really need to worry so much about the language barrier. Of course, if you want to have like deep philosophical conversations, I can't imagine why. But if you want to like delve like deeper into the culture, then definitely you need to learn the language, but it won't be that big of a stumbling block when you arrive. I don't think. When I moved to France, I had a person who was the liaison between myself and the school where I worked. And this person could speak English and French very well. So I didn't have to worry so much about being able to speak French fluently. So I'm imagining if you're moving abroad, you're not just moving abroad on your own. You would probably move abroad and have like some kind of company set up with a job for you. So usually those companies will have like some kind of liaison to help you find an apartment or deal with the everyday tasks that you're used to handling on your own in your home country. You know, this thing is cool, by the way. You gotta put, I think you put this over like your tea, or you put it over a hot mill to keep it from getting cold. It's not a hat. Also, like, we're living in the 21st century. This is the age of information and technology. So no matter where you go in the world, any city that you're going to travel to and you don't really understand how to speak the language, you can always use a translation app. So I mean, we have Google take care of all of our language problems. Okay, let's take a little break. We're going to eat this food. This is pilaf. This is like beef and lamb mixed, and we got some kompot. We got some other food coming too, but this is the main dish. Francois is hungry. Haven't eaten all day long. It's time to dig in. It's time to dig in. I know it's gonna be good. It's always good. We got this chili pepper on top. And it's very flavorful. Beef, lamb, there's like something sweet. It's like dates or something, or sweet potato, carrots, rice, some seasoning. Wow, yo, this is rice porridge. So good. It's like very sweet. And I think these are like caramelized apples and some kind of jam. And then of course got some scrambled eggs and some salad on there. On there. This compote is so good. It's like a mix of different kinds of fruit juices that it's not so sugary. It's very light, very easy on the palate. Now it's time for the porridge. Look at that. When I eat this, it like brings me back to the time when I came to Almaty for the first time in the summer. Eggs and salad, so good. Very fresh. One more look at Navat. Time to go. We killed it. Oh my goodness. So full. Man, that was a good meal. Now I'm ready to talk. But yeah, like even being that Almaty is an international city, as I said before, there aren't so many African Americans here or people of African descent. Of course, I'm getting like a lot of stares, but the stares as they are in Korea, they're not very aggressive and they're not pernicious, inimical. Glances of curiosity. And maybe a lot of the people who are living here haven't seen African American before up close. I'm sure they've seen them in movies or on the television or in social media, but up close in personal, maybe it's something that, you know, is very shocking to them. Wow, our country is kind of like far away or far removed from a lot of the things that we see on television, but there's one here. So you're definitely going to get stares for good and for bad. It just depends on your outlook. One thing I just can't get used to is the early setting of the sun in the winter. It's not even 4 o'clock yet and the sun is looking like it's about to set. It's January 3rd or 4th or something, and the sun is supposed to set at 4:30. So that's like so early, even in America or France or in Korea. Like when I was in France, the sun was set maybe 5:30 at the earliest. I think, yeah, it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that in the winter time. But here, the sun sets so early in the winter. It's a bit sad if you're coming from a country where you're used to, you know, having sunlight in the morning and in the evening, even during the winter time. Like in Korea, the sun will rise 7 or something. No, 7? Yeah, 7, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the winter. It will set at like 5:30 or 6 o'clock maybe, but you will still have light, which is like really great. But here, it's like the sun goes down really early and it just seems like everything, like the darkness is closed in about you. One of the things that might be difficult to fight, and this is like an internal conflict, at least for me, when you're moving to a different country, if you're African American, or maybe even if you're just a foreigner in general that looks different than the home population, and that is like how to react to people when they stare, but not only will they stare, but if they smile or, no, like giggle. Like maybe they'll look at you and they'll walk by and they'll, right? It's a human response to think that someone is making fun of us or someone is disrespecting us. Likely it's not the case. Likely it's just people who are very curious or they just don't know how to express themselves with seeing a new kind of human around them. So I remember I struggled with this a bit when I was in Korea, but it's not that people are like angry at you or they want to be disrespectful. They just don't know how to react. Like a lot of the times, like humans, whenever we're nervous or when we don't know how to react to things, we laugh. So just think of it like that. Like, okay, this person or these people aren't trying to be aggressive or they're not trying to put me down or demean me. They're just not understanding how to react to me. Ultimately, one issue that I have when traveling abroad to countries like Kazakhstan that don't have that much experience with African Americans is that a lot of people will try to, like, I don't know, they'll try to approach me, not here per se, some people here, but when I go to other countries that usually don't see a lot of African Americans, they'll approach me with like this pseudo African American culture, you know, via hip hop. Come up to me, hey bro, what's going on? Hey bro, hey bro. And of course, like calling another person brother or bro is a term of endearment, but it's like when you try to add like the hip hop vibe to it, it's just very stereotypical. It could cause a person to feel a certain way. You know, all African Americans don't listen to hip hop and aren't invested into the hip hop culture. A person is like, yo, what's up, man? You know, what you doing? You know, blah, 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 blah. And they're speaking to you in this hip hop vernacular. It can make you feel like, you know, what is this person doing? That's not culture. That's not true culture. That's a pseudo culture. You have to understand Like, people don't know that. They only know what they see on television. So don't be offended. Here's another thing that's very difficult about relocating to another country: looking for your own native food. As I just shared with you, going to Nabat, the restaurant, I can find food that has similar tastes to African-American soul food, but not exactly. So, you know, when you're moving abroad, especially me coming from Korea to Kazakhstan, to Almaty, from Seoul to Almaty, I'm pretty sure, like, I haven't eaten it yet, but I'm sure Korean food is going to be expensive here. And I go to another country and I want to eat Western food, it's so expensive. Like, the prices are like double or even sometimes triple that of the local food. So you have to be prepared for that. Like, if you're going to move abroad, you should do a lot of research and maybe find a restaurant of the country that you're going to move to and have food from that country, so your taste buds can get used to what you're going to be eating for the next undetermined amount of time. But one thing that I do love about Almaty is the architecture. I think I've said this before, like the houses, the apartments, the businesses, just how the buildings are designed, it's very East Asian mixed, is what I can say. If you need to go to the bank, or if you need to buy a cell phone or a SIM card or something, I would suggest you go with a local. Any place you travel to, especially like me here in Almaty, I went to get a SIM card and eSIM on my own. I don't think I was overcharged or anything, but just to be on the safe side, if you're making any kind of large purchases or going to the bank, or if you're going to look for an apartment, or you know, you're just going to buy something big, I suggest you go with a local, because they'll know how to get the best deals. But also, if you're with the local, there's a lower chance that you'll not be overcharged. It's very important. It's profoundly important for you to build like strong relationships when you arrive in the foreign country. Like, you have to look for friends. You cannot do it alone. No one can do it alone. And sometimes I hang out with my friends who, they don't actually have friends. And I'm just like, I don't understand, how can you, well, I do understand. Some humans just don't have friends, but you need a community. You need people around you to help you navigate the ins and outs of a new country. You got to have a community. You have to have people to tell you what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what you can do, what you can't do. Wow, there's actually, hi. Whoa, they actually have a Korean store here. It has all kinds of Korean stuff. Wow, so much ramen. This makes me feel like home. Kimchi, all kinds of Korean beauty products. I just found this random like ramen shop like on the side of the road. Yo, let me get this on video, because I'm definitely going to be coming back here. Wow, look at this place. It's really cool to find places like that in cities, because like as soon as I went in there, I just felt, hi. When I went in there, people were waving at me because they see me vlogging. But when I went in there, it made me feel like, you know, like I was back in Korea. And everyone wants to feel like they're at home, you know, wherever they go. So I would not have found this place if I was not just walking around the street randomly. Like, sometimes you have to go outside when you go to a new place, even though you're scared, you don't know your environment. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna go outside, I'm gonna walk around, I'm just gonna see what I can find. I'm not gonna care if people are staring at me, I'm not gonna care if I get lost. Well, you should care if you get lost. So make sure you have an app that gives you directions back home, very important. But yeah, you need to go around and like find places, because you can find shops like that that have food and just have other things from your home that can make you feel like more lively when you move abroad. So could I move to Almaty permanently? Possibly, I could. Could you move to another country permanently, you know, after you're 40 or over 40? Yeah, you could. But I do think there are some things that you need to think about and be concerned with before moving to that country. Don't just, in my opinion, don't just go. Like, you gotta do some research. If possible, it's good to have some hands-on experience about that country before you leave. Thanks for joining me on my journey today as I walked randomly around Almaty. No one's here. There's no one in the streets. It's because it's still like the New Year week and most people are at home or with their families. But yeah, it's really cool to just be around and not have so many people. Anyways, I wanna give a shout out to Coco Cook and Nagada, my channel members. Yeah. If you want to join this channel and help me make these awesome videos where I travel around the world, travel around Korea, places like that, feel free to hit that membership subscribe button, or you can just subscribe to the channel, hit that like button at the bottom if you enjoy watching my content. It really helps me out so much. So thanks a lot for joining me again, guys. I love you. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you're eating well. Happy New Year. This New Year didn't start off on the right note with some trouble in the United States, and 2024 also didn't end well. So I want to take a moment to just, say my 2 cents, or to give some thoughts to the victims of the airline crash in Wuhan, Korea. My heart goes out to you guys. Yeah, that's just a terrible accident, a tragedy. I don't want to say anything else because official reports haven't come out, but yeah, just my heart goes out to all of you guys. So make sure you love your loved ones, because you never know when is the last time you're going to see them. Hey, you never know when the last time it is that you will wake up. So be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for everything that has happened to you, the good and the bad, if it's survivable. Love you guys. Stay hydrated. See you in the next one. Peace.